My name is Patrick Carradine. I've spent my life watching people reach for peace, for clarity, for love, only to see it slip away again. I've walked inside religion, outside religion, and everywhere in between. I've listened to those who call the Creator God, Allah, the universe, science, and those who believe in nothing at all. And across every path I saw the same pattern. Moments of beauty followed by confusion, moments of peace followed by chaos. And I asked myself, why does life swing like this if the Creator of all things is truly good? What I discovered is simple, but it changes everything. The divine never wavers. We do. We drift into noise, what I call oscillation, and lose sight of the clarity that was always ours. But when we see clearly, without distortion, without fear, life begins to open. Purpose becomes visible. Conflict dissolves. Relationships breathe again. And the quiet steadiness of the divine becomes undeniable in the present moment. I'm here to help you see that again. Not to give beliefs, not to argue doctrines, but to clear the fog so you can finally meet yourself. Together we'll uncover why suffering repeats, why love fractures, why purpose hides, and how communion restores all of it. We'll walk through the 5 gold coins of the captive, the 4 pillars, Somogenic Transmission, resonance flow, and the unwavering line of the divine. All of it leading to one truth, a truth that brings you home to yourself, to presents to paradise right now. This is the path back to the life you were designed to live. This is the unveiling of what has always been yours. This is Unified Theistic Naturalism. This is UTN. What if wisdom wasn't random? What if nothing you've lived, not the wounds, not the breakthroughs, not the moments that lit up your entire awareness, was ever accidental? What if every experience you've carried, every moment that broke you, every moment that lifted you, and every moment of clarity that arrived out of nowhere was part of a pattern you were never taught to see? Because there is a pattern. Every human being walks the same 3 paths, the path of destruction, the path of imitation, and the path of communion, and only one of them leads to perfect timing, the kind of timing where wisdom stops hurting, stops repeating, and arrives exactly when you need it. If you've ever wondered why wisdom slips out of your hands, or why it sometimes appears with such precision that it feels like the divine is standing right behind you, you're closer than you think, because the movement underneath your life is about to become visible. Now, let's discover wisdom, the 3 paths to acquire it, living experience, expired steps, and communion. Abstract wisdom is the rarest form of understanding, the union of knowledge, experience, and right timing. It is not memorized, inherited, or taught in words. It is realized through the proper cadence between the human being and the divine. This paper explores the 3 paths by which wisdom may be acquired. Through the living experience, through the expired steps or counsel of others, and finally through communion, the resonance of perfect timing and presence described within Unified Theistic Naturalism. The first path, living experience, is the harshest. It is the unguarded schooling of life itself, where wisdom is extracted through destruction, sorrow, and oscillation. This wisdom is obtained through somogenic transmission, the biological and behavioral inheritance of untimed actions repeated across generations. The second path, expired steps, is the borrowing of another's hard-won lessons. It softens suffering, but cannot end distortion because its timing belongs to someone else. The third and final path, communion, restores wisdom to its natural cadence, where awareness and the divine move as one unbroken flow. Within UTN, communion is the intended state of human existence. It ends oscillation, dissolves trauma, and replaces imitation with resonance. In this state, wisdom is not acquired through pain or counsel, but is received through presence. The goal of this paper is to show the reader that all living experience and imitation are preparatory stages, bridges leading the human being toward communion, where wisdom finally becomes effortless, pure, and whole. Defining wisdom is the harmonious integration of knowledge, experience, and discernment guided by truth. Knowledge gathers information. Understanding arranges it. Wisdom knows when and how to apply it. Wisdom acts only in cadence. It is timed awareness. While intelligence can analyze and memory can recall, wisdom sees. It perceives the essence of things and moves in alignment with what is unfolding. The benefits of wisdom are profound. Clarity of perception, the end of confusion. Peace in decision-making actions without inner conflict. Freedom from oscillation, no longer reacting between extremes. Compassionate discernment, correction without cruelty. Enduring harmony, actions that sustain rather than repeat pain. These qualities reveal why humanity pursues wisdom, not for power, but for peace through timing. Wisdom through living experience, the destructive formation. The first and most common way to acquire wisdom is simply by living. This is somogenic transmission, the inheritance of behavioral and emotional patterns through the material continuity of life. Each generation learns by repetition through the friction of untimed experience. Life without communion teaches through collision. Every lesson arrives out of cadence with the divine's unwavering line, and therefore produces dissonance in the body, mind, and emotion. The result is destructive learning, trauma, scars left by untimed impact. Terror, facing the unknown without stillness. Sorrow, the illusion of separation. Inflammation, biological stress mirroring spiritual dissonance. Distortion, perception bent away from truth. The human organism was not designed to endure oscillation. It was designed to resonate. When timing is lost, wisdom is paid for with exhaustion. The nervous system becomes the ledger of every unaligned act. What was meant to be seen gently through awareness is endured violently through reaction. Even when wisdom finally emerges from this destruction, it carries the residue of suffering. If communion is never realized, these distortions are passed forward through somogenic transmission, ensuring the next generation inherits the same untimed learning loops. Thus, the wisdom of mere living experience is the costliest of all. It teaches through pain, and it teaches again through the bodies of our descendants. 2. Wisdom through the counsel of others, the borrowed formation. When one grows weary of the first path, compassion for the self arises, the desire to learn without more suffering. From this tenderness comes the second path, the seeking of guidance from those who have already suffered. Mentors, parents, priests, gurus, philosophers, and friends all become archives of endured lessons. Their words promise safety from destruction. Culture, religion, and sacred texts serve as containers of collective advice, maps drawn by those who once walked through fire. The broken clock. But the advice of others is a broken clock. It is correct only twice a day, those rare instances when the seeker's circumstance aligns perfectly with the mentor's original moment of truth. All other attempts to apply that wisdom, the remaining 10 times of the clock, are misapplications. Each misapplication, being out of cadence, reproduces the same distortions as the first path. Trauma, sorrow, terror, inflammation, and confusion. Advice softens pain, yes, but it cannot synchronize timing. The teacher's revelation belonged to a unique moment that cannot be reproduced. The borrowed act may comfort, but it cannot commune. It guides behavior without restoring cadence. Thus, the second path reduces destruction, but does not end it. It provides vocabulary, structure, and a temporary sense of meaning, yet it perpetuates oscillation through reverence and repetition. The seeker survives, but does not yet see. The robe warms, but it also blinds. 3. Wisdom through communion, the resonant formation, when both destruction and imitation reach exhaustion, the third and final path opens, communion. Here, wisdom is not acquired through pain or borrowed from others. It is received in real time through resonance with the divine. This is wisdom as the human body was designed to receive it, without distortion, inflammation, or oscillation. In communion, the individual aligns with the 7 attributes of the divine truth: observation, perfect action, movement, non-duality, compassion, and unconditional love. Through these, wisdom flows in perfect cadence. Nothing collides. Movement and awareness are one. Timing is precise. Action emerges effortlessly. Stillness and motion are no longer opposites but continuous flow. Love is unconditional because perception no longer divides. This is the normal state of being intended for humanity. The oscillations that once defined pleasure and pain dissolve into resonant flow. There is no upward swing for dopamine and no downward crash into despair, only the steady awareness that sees clearly and acts in alignment. Within the framework of Unified Theistic Naturalism, all teachings, writings, and reflections serve one purpose, to introduce the individual to communion. UTN reveals that wisdom is not the result of surviving suffering or copying saints. It is the natural consequence of harmony between presence and the divine. Here, micro-miracles become visible. One begins to perceive movement before motion, cause before effect, alignment before decision. Life becomes a continuous revelation, wisdom unfolding as one's native language. In communion, wisdom is non-destructive, non-borrowed, and non-divided. It is the perfect cadence of existence, the sound of truth moving through a body designed to hear it. Conclusion and reflection. There are only 3 ways to acquire wisdom. The first, living experience, teaches through destruction. The second, expired steps, teaches through imitation. The third, communion, teaches through resonance. The first 2 wound and repeat. The third heals and reveals. Through communion, the core of UTN, the human being finally learns as intended, not through pain or precept, but through presence. Yet before the reader departs this page, a pause is needed. Wisdom invites reflection, not haste. Reflective questions 1. Through which path am I most often learning? Through collision, imitation, or communion? 2. What has been the personal cost of the wisdom I've gained, emotionally, physically, biologically? 3. Whose expired steps am I still following, hoping they will fit the timing of my own life? 4. When has imitation felt safer than listening to the cadence of my own awareness? 5. Can I recall moments when insight arrived effortlessly, without suffering or instruction, and recognize them as communion? 6. If wisdom could be received without destruction, would I allow it? Or do I still believe pain is the price for truth? These reflections are not answers to memorize, but mirrors to stand before, quiet openings through which communion enters. As one lingers with them, the noise of oscillation softens, and the steady rhythm of resonance begins to be heard, the sound of wisdom returning home. Let them rest within you. Do not seek to solve them. Simply observe. As stillness deepens, timing restores itself, and in that rhythm, quiet, whole, and awake, wisdom is not acquired at all. It is revealed. Canonical reference block Principia Communio, Axioms and Laws of Unified Theistic Naturalism, DOI, 10.5281 Zenodo, 17009966. All axioms, laws, and living equations cited are drawn directly from Principia Communio, which defines the canonical framework of Unified Theistic Naturalism. Thank you for walking with me through this moment. Wisdom, the 3 paths to acquire it: living experience, expired steps, and communion, by Patrick Carradine, Unified Theistic Naturalism, Publications 25 DOI, 10.5281 Zenodo, 173975506. If something in this opened for you, if your past feels clearer, if your timing feels different, if wisdom feels a little closer than it did before, then let that stay with you, because this is only the beginning. There is more to see, more to understand, more of the divine's cadence waiting for you just beneath the noise of everyday life. If you feel drawn to take the next step, there are other journeys you can walk with me. There's conflict, the beauty and the beast, where you'll see how every menace hides a mentor, and how clarity can rise even inside the people who wound us. There's the silence that speaks, a walk into communion, gifts, and the divine voice, beyond prayer, beyond ritual, beyond the noise. There's the return of Jesus, the Word remembering all things, a reframing of incarnation, remembrance, and somogenic transmission in a way that brings the divine into the present moment. And there's the mirror and the line, where every framework, every robe, and every tradition reveals how the divine reflects through oscillation and timing. These are not teachings to memorize. They are lenses, ways of seeing that restore presence, timing, and clarity. If you want to explore further, all of these works and more are waiting for you at www.unifiedtheisticnaturalism.org. The journey doesn't end here. In fact, this is the moment it begins. Take your time, move in your own cadence, and when you're ready, I'll meet you in the next step. And if wisdom opens something in you, there's another journey waiting, a deeper one that touches the very place where clarity breaks apart and where understanding returns stronger than before. It's the journey into conflict, not the surface conflict you see, but the conflict underneath the moment you fear. the moment where two histories collide, the moment where your inherited memory meets someone else's, the moment that feels like pressure, threat, misunderstanding, rupture. Most people try to avoid that moment. They pray it away, meditate it away, argue their way out of it, apologize their way out of it, break relationships trying to escape it. But conflict has always carried something more, something almost no framework has ever shown you. There is a reason it keeps returning in different faces, different voices, different relationships. It's not punishment, it's not karma, it's not spiritual warfare, it's not pathology. It's an invitation, a mirror, a turning point, a message wrapped in pressure, because inside the beast, inside the moment you resist most, is the mentor. The one moment that can expand your horizon faster than any teacher, any book, any ritual, any belief. If wisdom gave you vision, conflict will give you reach. It will show you why people react the way they do, why you feel what you feel, why timing breaks down, and why a single shift in seeing can dissolve an entire argument. You've already begun the journey, and if you're ready, the next step is waiting for you. Conflict, the beauty and the beast, seeing the mentor hidden inside every menace. By Patrick Carradine, Unified Theistic Naturalism Publications, 2025 DOI 10.5281 Zenodo 17642492.